A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. If we could ask President George Washington what was the purpose of this amendment, he would tell us.
A free people ought not only to be armed and disciplined, but they should have sufficient arms and ammunition to maintain a status of independence from any who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government.
We would do well to heed George Washington's warning, since governments, under the guise of gun control and the pretense of making their citizens more safe, have exterminated over 56 million of their own people in the recent 20th century. One such leader was Joseph Stalin, who conspired. If the opposition disarms, well and good. If it refuses to disarm, we shall disarm it ourselves. Ben Carson recently reminded Americans of one of Stalin's equally wicked contemporaries, Adolf Hitler, formulating the notion that guns may have stopped the Holocaust. Of course, guns eventually did. Unfortunately, it had to be the guns of the Allied powers after millions were murdered. Carson elaborated, saying,
I think the likelihood of Hitler being able to accomplish his goals would have been greatly diminished if the people had been armed. But realize there was a reason that they took the guns first, right?
So just why does the Supreme Court, as an example, have to take on a challenge to a Chicago area law banning semi-automatic rifles? A ban that has been enacted by California, Connecticut, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Washington, D.C. Why are the sheriffs in these counties of these states complying with this calamitous mentality? It's not law. The Second Amendment is. Civil authorities should be standing behind recent massacre survivors who have told the president to, quote, quit with the gun control. Americans should be imitating the 8,000 people who signed on a website declaring that the president is not welcome in Oregon to deliver his loathing American liberty speech. Dead dictator Benito Mussolini dealt with protesters like this by stating to the Italian Senate in 1931, the measures adopted to restore public order are, first of all, the elimination of the so-called subversive elements. On the morrow of each conflict, I gave the categorical order to confiscate the largest possible number of weapons of every sort and kind. This confiscation, which continues with the utmost energy, has given satisfactory results. Well, this smacks of Obama, who the Washington Post stated is seriously considering circumnavigating Congress with his executive authority and imposing new background check requirements. Adding to the fateful mental hazard, in California, Governor Jerry Brown signed Senate Bill 707, which seeks to prohibit legal concealed carry owners from carrying handguns for self-defense onto California school grounds. With the stroke of a pen, Governor Brown is attempting to deny the God-given right of self-defense from potential innocent victims. Mussolini, Jerry Brown, Obama, Stalin, and the gun-grabbing media have all proven themselves to be enemies of the Constitution. They've shown their blatant intent to disregard delegated God-ordained power. The answer is in the history books.
No free man shall ever be debarred the use of arms. The strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is, as a last resort, to protect themselves against tyranny in government.
This is Jake MacAulay with the Institute on the Constitution, bringing you the American View.